How to get her back. She dumped you, she's not seeing you anymore, she's not hanging out with you anymore, and you want to start seeing her again. In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how to do that under an alpha male 2.0 context, and that is the key difference here. Most people, most men, when they encounter women who stop seeing them, will probably never see that woman sexually ever again. Why is that? Because during the relationship, they were monogamous. They were exclusive. They acted like beta males. Even if they're alpha males in their normal lives, they still acted like needy one-eye-to-see beta males in the relationship. The relationship was problematic. The relationship ended because she was bored or because she wasn't attracted. All these things reduce the odds of you ever seeing her again sexually because you handled the relationship incorrectly. In other words, you handled the relationship in a way that your mommy and daddy and society told you to handle it, which is not the way that actually works in terms of female psychology. Under an alpha male 2.0 model, this entire script is flipped. In my example, I have been dating non-monogamously for 16 years straight. And in that 16 years, every time I've calculated this, I've done it twice now and the number ends up being the same. I last calculated this about 2 years ago. I have a 94% return rate. Now let me be clear what that means, because I've talked about this a lot. That means that 94% of every woman I've ever had sex with at least twice, and that is a large, large list of women, have eventually come back to me sexually once they stopped seeing me for whatever reason. I've had women leave me, go away for a few weeks and come back. I've had women leave me, get married to another guy, get divorced and come back to me. I've had women leave the country, move back and see me. I've had women leave me, marry a guy, have a kid, get divorced, come back and see me. Every scenario you can think of, I've had women come back, 94%. And one of the many reasons for that is I understand how to bring women back once I've established the correct relationship. Now, in terms of what to do in a relationship that is outside the scope of this particular video, what you should do is watch that video there on the cardinal rules, and that'll tell you how to establish the framework, which will raise the odds of her coming back to you once she dumps you. Now, why does she dump you? This is called the LISTENFTE. This is my worst acronym ever. This is LSNFTE. It stands for Long Soft Next for Temporary Exclusivity. This is why a woman leaves an alpha male 2.0. Very different reasons for why women leave typical men, beta males or monogamous alpha male 1.0s. The way it works is this. You're gonna date her. You're gonna make her feel good during sex every time. You're gonna follow the cardinal rules. You're not gonna act needy. You're not gonna act like a pussy. You're gonna see other women and she'll love it. She'll think it's great. But over time, she will start to think, you know what, all my girlfriends and my sister and my mom, they're all in monogamous relationships to men who don't have sex with other women. And I'm stuck with this guy who I really like, but he's still playing around with other women and I don't see this relationship is going. And what'll happen eventually is all the orbiting beta males around her will start pressuring her and they will say things like, you know, that guy Caleb, fuck him, he's an asshole. If I dated you, I would take you out to dinner and I would buy you gifts and buy you clothes and I wouldn't hook up with other girls and I'd treat you like a queen. Now, normally that would be a turnoff for a woman in most cases, unless she was a provider hunter. But in this scenario, after she's been dating your ass for 6 months or a year and a half, whatever, that starts to sound pretty good. So she will eventually leave you, not because she wasn't attracted, not because she didn't like you, but because she was frustrated you weren't following the little societal programming playbook of how a relationship is supposed to look. So what will then happen? Well, if you play this correctly, what'll happen is, and I've done this literally scores of times, thousands of you in my audience have done this many, many times, you know this works. What will happen is she will go date some beta male who will kiss her ass and treat her like a queen. And for a few weeks, few months, she'll love it. She'll think it's the greatest thing on earth. She'll put it on her social media. I'm such a lucky girl. That's the key statement, by the way, of women on social media. I'm a lucky girl. That means I just started dating a new beta male who's kissing my ass and it's great. She'll love it for a while. Are women attracted to men who follow them around like little puppy dogs and kiss their asses? No. So eventually she will leave him, or in some cases cheat on him, depending on her personality and age, and she will circle back to you. Again, long-term monogamy does not work. So instead of having that piss you off, you take advantage of that and integrate that into your relationship model like I have. This is why you can get a 94% return rate. Now, let me describe the system of how you do this under an alpha male 2.0 model. And again, I have to repeat, this system may not work if you acted like a complete monogamous beta male during the relationship. It might help, but it won't be nearly as effective. So this system that I'm about to teach you works with the cardinal rules that I also teach. By the way, if you want details on the cardinal rules and how to bring women back, you should go to haveopenrelationships.com. That is my book on exactly how to have relationships like this. It walks you through step by step the entire thing. It works very well. So here's how this works. When she leaves, you go radio silent. and this is the hardest part for guys, you do not text her, you do not call her, you do not DM her on Instagram, you do not contact her in any way whatsoever for any reason whatsoever. I will get guys all the time say, well, what if it's her birthday? No. Well, what if it's Christmas? No. Well, what if this? What if that? What if this? No. If you text her before she texts you, you will damage attraction and you will reduce the odds of you ever seeing her again sexually. Don't do it. I know that's hard for some of you guys. I know that's difficult. I know you're a beta male or recovering beta male and you have a bunch of one-itis feelings and you can't control yourself because men are pussies when it comes to this stuff. Do whatever you need to do to control yourself. The best way to control yourself, go have sex with new girls who are as hot or young as her. That'll help a lot. That's what I always do. You should always be seeing at least 2 or 3 women anyway, right? Okay. Now, if she contacts you first, you can respond. That's okay. But you are not allowed to initiate any contact for any reason whatsoever. And if you do, you damage your odds. Now, how do you bring her back if you have that model? Well, the way it works is you need to wait at least 6 months. That's the magic number. At a very bare minimum, if she's younger, you could push it to 4 months, but that's not ideal. The longer, the better. 4 months is not ideal. 6 months is better. A year is better. A year and a half is even better. I've done this as long as a year and a half, 2 years sometimes. Works better the longer you wait. So what you do is you wait 6 months plus. Then if you can, I realize sometimes you can't, but if you can, you get on her social media and you see if she has a new boyfriend. Not a boyfriend. I didn't say boyfriend. I said new boyfriend. If she's had a boyfriend for 2 years, she's ready to dump his ass. Trust me. She's ready to dump his ass and or cheat on him. Trust me. And yes, I'm exaggerating. I'm generalizing, but this is how it works. However, if it's a brand new boyfriend, last few weeks, that is when women are the most sexually loyal. So you do not want to contact her when she has a new boyfriend. You risk her blocking you or deleting your number and all that kind of stuff. So if you see she has a relatively new boyfriend, stay away at another 6 months, another year, and then repeat the process. If she doesn't have a boyfriend as far as you can tell, or you can't tell and you don't know, then you can go ahead and contact her. What do you say when you contact her? Something very simple. Hey, how you doing? That's it. Guys think that they have to regain women and use a bunch of PUA techniques and a bunch of scripts and a bunch of other crap to re-inquire women they've already had sex with. You don't. You don't have to do this. Once a woman has had sex with you multiple times, you don't have to re-game her again. You don't have to use a bunch of techniques or lines in the text. You don't have to take her on a first date and second date again. You don't do any of that stuff. Just hit her up like she's an old friend. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how are you? That's it. Real simple. 95% of the time I do this, it's a very simple text like that. And engage her in a conversation, very friendly, back and forth conversation. Then you can say, hey, how about we hang out next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock? You can just come over to my place. You do not have to take her on a date. You don't have to go out and go for drinks or a dinner anymore. You don't do that. You already did that. You don't do it again. If the odds are in your favor, if you did everything right, odds are she will say sure, and she will come over, and then you just go right back to the sexual relationship. I have done this literally scores of times. Now, what happens if she does not reply when you say, hey, how's it going? Then you wait even longer. Let's say you waited 6 months, wait a year. You can put this on a spreadsheet if you want. I used to do this. Mark it down for a year, wait a year, and then try it again. A year, not another 6 months. You don't get this thing where every 6 months she knows you're going to bug her on her phone. No. So if you waited 6 months, now it's here. If you waited a year, you wait 2 more years. A total of 3 years. Well, I don't want to wait that long. Then you're a pussy and a beta and you have one-itis. You need to fuck new girls and stop being a pussy. What the fuck are you doing? So that's what you do if she doesn't respond. Now, what if she responds, but she's hesitant to meet you? Then have a brief conversation. Talk about your dating life. See if she is dating a new guy. Try to figure out her scenario. She's a girl. She'll tell you. Girls love to talk about this stuff. See if she's dating a new guy. See if she's dating a guy. Maybe they're about to move in together. These are not good times for you to do this. Just say, hey, that's awesome. Then talk for a little more, wrap up the conversation, get the fuck out of there, go back to no contact for another year. Same exact thing. Sometimes you're going to have to be patient, especially if the woman is older. Generally speaking, there are lots of exceptions. The younger she is, the faster she'll return. The older she is, the longer she'll take to return. But older women still return. I have done this with women in their 30s and 40s. It works perfectly fine. Again, long-term monogamy doesn't work. It's okay. All these guys seem to think that as soon as she gets a boyfriend, it's all over and they'll never see her again because she's going to marry this guy and then never divorce him. Is that how that works in real life? No. That's it. That's how this works. Now, again, if you want a framework for what to do during the relationship to reduce the odds of this occurring in the first place, watch that video right there on the cardinal rules and I'll see you in that video.